Hello, this is Irina from La La Land Crafts, and I'm back with day 4 of our 12 days of tutorials. And if you're just now joining us, you can look at the links on the video description and catch up with day 1, 2, and 3. If you comment on all of the videos during this event, you'll be entered to receive $50 to our online store to lalalandcrafts.com. Today we're going to make a little cute box for the holiday gifts, for Christmas gifts that you might need, since I'm sure been doing a lot of shopping already. And we're going to start with the big piece of the cardstock, or actually this is chipboard. All of the measurements will be listed on the video description, so you really don't need to know what they are right now. But this big piece is 11 5/8 by 11 5/8, and I'm going to score it at 3 7/8 on all 4 sides. So my scoring board here, this version doesn't have 3 7/8 mark. So to use this board, I'm going to pull my cardstock 8 to the 1/8 of an inch mark, and then I'm going to score it 4. And I'm going to do the same on all 4 sides. Okay, so now I'm actually going to bring my cutter, and I have this big one. Sorry, I don't have a small one, so I'm just going to fit it here to make sure that you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to cut on my outside squares. I'm going to cut it out, but I'm going to leave 1/2 inch left on my piece of paper. So I'm going to line this up. And I'm going to go as close as I can. So I'm going to do the same thing on all 4 corners here, and I'll show you why we need this. Now I'm going to go into the corners, and for the corners that I cut, I'm going to cut diagonally to the corner, to the scored corner. So I have it like this on all 4. And then I'm going to cut at the angle on the outside flaps, like this. On all 4 of my squares, so that makes 8 little flaps here. Now I'm going to use my bone folder, and I'm going to fold on all of my folds. Oops, forgot to cut this. Now they're all finished. So I'm going to fold this. And fold all of my flaps onto the inside. So you can see how this is going to make a box. So really kind of easy way to do it. Okay, so now before we put the box together, I'm going to glue the papers onto the sides, and I have 4 of the white cardstock here, and I have some of the chipboard some of the craft color layers to go over them. Before I glue these layers on, I actually going to stamp them with our wood planks background stamp, and I'm going to use walnut stain oxide ink for that. I have a scrap piece of paper here to help me. I'm going to ink the stamp upside down or facing up, and I'm going to tap into it. My layer goes down, scrap paper, and press into it. Isn't it pretty? Just gorgeous. So I'm going to do the same on all remaining 3 layers. I'm going to try to fast forward on the video. Now all the these layers are stamped. I'm going to go ahead and glue them on. Since we introduced our background stamps, I rarely use printed papers anymore. It's actually kind of fun to mix and match and use different patterns of the background stamps and be able to use them in all kinds of different colors to match with your projects. So I'm really enjoying this. Now to glue it onto my box, I'm going to make sure I'm going into the right direction. So I want my wood grain go up and down. So pretty. Now I'm going to use double-sided tape, and I'm going to add it onto the flaps. So I'm actually going to have some of the flaps coming outside of the box. So I'm going to put tape on the back, on the 2 of the sides, on the 2 of the opposite sides. So on my right and on my left side here. And then on the 2 other sides, I'm going to put tape on the front like this. So these ones have tape on this side, and the opposite ones will have the double-sided tape on the other side. So now first thing, I'm going to assemble my box. So I'm going to remove the backing from the tape, the ones that have it on the front. And I'm going to hold my box up, make sure it's nice and even. That didn't hold it. Let me try again. Going to press into it. And on this side. And as you can see, I'm leaving the other flaps open on the outside, and I'll show you later why. This is not what I would usually do, but for this design, I like it much better this way. It just adds another kind of interactive part or decorative part to this box. So I'm going to remove the backing from this now here. And close this, just making sure that the other flaps are staying on the outside. Okay, so now the box is done, and it's a square box, as you can see. And here, the reason I left these flaps open, I'm going to add the tags under the flaps, and I'm going to cut my tags down so they kind of have space in between them, and then I'm going to put the twine through it. So I'm going to measure to see how much of the tag. So I need about 1 3/4 only of these tags. And these tags are cut with one of our dies, of course. I'll put all of the links on the item description for you, for your easy reference, so you can find it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all of my flags down to 1 3/4. Yep, that looks good. 1 3/4, 1 3/4, and 1 3/4. So I have the four tags cut here because I'm going to use 2 on each side. Now, before I glue the tags on, I'm going to stamp them with this beautiful sweater weather background stamp. This is one of the newer stamps, and I'm using broken china. Again, tap, tap, tap. I'm going to see if I can put a few tags at once. And I'm going to have them sideways like this, since this is how the design goes. Yep, looks like I can do all of them at the same time. Going to align them as straight as I can. Perfect. Cover with my scrap paper and rub into it. Isn't this just gorgeous? I really love this design. It's just amazing. It's so pretty. It really is so pretty. So now, before I put my stamp back, I actually have a few other things to stamp with the same design, and I'll show you later. But we're going to make a lid for this box as well. So might as well stamp these layers that are going to go onto the lid at the same time. So I have the cover here and little sides. Not sure I can fit all of them at the same time. Nope. So I'll have to do it one more time. So pretty. Can't get over how pretty that is. Okay, and 2 more little sides here. And and this is with broken china oxide. Don't remember if I mentioned. Okay. I'm using the poking tool just to lift them off of the ink, of the rubber stem, because my nails are so long and it's hard to work with it. For no other reason. While I'm inking, I'm going to actually ink one more thing, and these pieces are die cut from Build a Frame die, but I'm going to use them as the little scarf, and we're going to build a snowman, but it was a surprise, but I guess I'm telling you now. I'm going to stamp it with the walnut stain also, and I'm going to stamp it with this gingham background stamp in one of our background stamps that I just adore. I love, 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 love gingham. Isn't this so cute? Okay, so back to our box. We have 4 of our tags that we cut to the size and stamped already, and I'm going to use reinforcers. So these little pieces come with your tag die, and they also have stitching on them, so it just really finishes your tags nicely. So I'm just folding them in half, and then I'm going to use glue. I'm going to use liquid glue for this. Art Glitter Dries Clear. And if you've been watching my videos, if you started watching from the first one, you'll see that I'll use this glue a lot, especially for the die cuts. So I'm going to line it up and glue it over, and you can see how it finishes the tag so nicely. Adds really, really pretty detail to it. Number 4. So then I'm not going to stop just yet with the little tags. You know, I am very much about adding details to my projects. So next we're going to add eyelets into the tags, onto those little holes. And I have my tool here, and the eyelets go right into this opening. It's already there for you, and I'm going to set it onto my tool. And this is a Crocodile by Wear Memory Keepers. Isn't it pretty? So cute, I'm loving it. Thank you so much for watching all of our videos and commenting. I really enjoyed reading your comments. Hope you're learning new techniques or just getting new ideas for different designs. Okay, so now I'm going to remove the backing from each side here, the backing of the tape, and I'm going to put my tag. I'm going to center it, and maybe I should add a little adhesive here. I'm just going to add a little adhesive on the back of it, since we're going to use some that are already on here, so it's going to hold my tag down. But I don't want to glue the ends of the tags or the fronts or the tops, because I'm still going to put the twine through it. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 tags here so they're facing each other, and then I'm going to close the lid here. And see, this is what I was going for. I really like this detail of the tags coming from under the side. I think that's a little different and just pretty. Okay, so then I'm going to grab a piece of twine and put it through the eyelets. I really like this decorative embellishment of sorts on the sides of the box. I'm going to tie the bow. Pretty. So the same on the other side. I think these patterns go so well together, especially for the winter projects. The sweater weather and the wood planks, just gorgeous. Just trim down the ends a little bit. So pretty. So of course you can leave this just like that. You can even use it as a container to store things, or the pencil holder of sorts and things like that. But for today's project, we're not going to stop here. We're going to add a lid for it, to make a lid for the box, so to make it into the gift box. So I'm going to use another piece of the chipboard, and this one is cut to 6 by 6, and I'm going to score it at 1 inch on all 4 sides. All the way around. I'm not really doing anything special here, so just going to go ahead and use my bond folder. I'm pressing pretty hard into it because I'm using chipboard. And then I'm going to cut on my score lines from the bottom up. Then I'm going to turn it 180 degrees, so now my cut ends are on one side, and I'm going to do the same on the other side here. And then I'm going to cut little triangles off on the outside flaps, and I like doing that because I think when you close it, when you put it together, it just gives a cleaner look to the project. Now once again, before we assemble it, I'm going to put the layers on it. And remember these little skinny pieces that we stamped already with the sweater weather background stamp? I'm going to attach them to the white cardstock. This is so pretty. I know I say that a lot, but I just love it. And then I'm going to glue it onto the sides of the box. And then I have the squares in the center. I find it easier attaching all the layers to the box or to the lid before you close it, because your layer is all flat and it's easy to work with. Here you go. So now we're going to close our box. I'm going to add double-sided tape on the little flaps on all 4 sides. So I'm going to line up, make sure it's straight, and pull all of them in. Adorable. So now it fits right onto my box. Now I actually wish I would have this layers lower. Didn't accommodate for the box, put them kind of high. So good thing this adhesive is not as strong. So I don't know about you, but I take my projects apart a lot, so I'll reinforce it later, but I just wanted to see. So I think I'm going about 1/4 inch from the bottom now. Oh yes, much better. So about 1/4 inch from the bottom, and I'm going to add stronger adhesive to make sure my box stays intact. I'm glad I was able to pull it. Okay, so about here, here, yep. So now when I put my lid on, you can see that this pretty detail is showing, and it's even with the design of the box. Now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to embellish the top, and for this I'm actually going to build a snowman. I have circles die cut in 3 different sizes, and this is die cut with our nested stitched circles, and you can see I have each size die cut from chipboard and from the white cardstock. I'm going to build my snowman. So first thing, I'm going to glue each white circle onto the coordinating or the same size of the chipboard, and that will just give me more, it will give the circles more substance, so they're thicker, they will stand out better onto my project. I'm going to use the foam tape between each layer. So this is how my snowman is going to go, and I'm going to use this piece here for our little scarf. I'm going to cut it in half and maybe a little shorter. It's cute. So I'm going to glue it onto my second, into the middle layer. Going to have ends coming out. Maybe a little more. I'm going to put the smaller one on to the top of that. Cute. Now before I put this one on, I'm going to use this this die cut, little bare branches for the arms, and I'm going to, before I do that, before I put them in, I want to darken them a little bit. So I'm going to get my walnut stain ink again, and I'm just going to drag them just to give them more color, have them a little darker. That looks good. I'm gonna see how much of these branches I want to show, and I'm going to glue them on the top of my largest circle. About right there. I haven't built a real snowman in a very long time now, since we live in California. But this is fun. This is almost as much fun. Not quite, of course, but almost. So now let's sit this one on. Cute. Now I have a little piece of the red cardstock, and I'm going to cut tiny corner for the nose. Glue this on. And I'm going to use Viva pen in black color for the eyes and the mouth and the buttons, but actually I want to put it on first, the snowman onto the lid, so then I'm not worried about messing it up. I haven't used this one in a long time. It seems like it's dried out a little bit. Let me see if I can get it to work. Okay, that should work. If you can't find Viva Pearl pen, I understand that it's been a challenge to find it in US, and now that they don't ship from Europe anymore. Any other pearl pen or Viva drops in black would work just as well. So I'm removing back in from my larger circle now. He's so cute. I'm going to add a little bit of the glue under his arms here to put them onto the lid, because I think with the time, if I leave them just hanging like that, they might get ruined, even though it's so pretty just being free. But I think if I bring them down a little bit like that, it's not going to ruin anything on the design, but it's actually going to make it a little more stable. So cute. Okay, so the last thing, let's go ahead and use our pen carefully. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 drops for his eyes, and I'm going to give him a big, nice smile. Cute. And then I'm going to give him buttons here. Here you go. Isn't he the cutest snowman? So that completes our project, our gift box for today, using La La Land Crafts background stamps mostly, and some of the die cuts. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll give it a try. So I'll see you tomorrow for day 5. Bye for now. Much love.